Good morning, it's December 1st, and this is your daily brief in climate change. Here's everything you need to know. The 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP28, is currently taking place in Dubai, focusing on limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Over 97,000 attendees are discussing key themes such as emissions mitigation targets, phasing out fossil fuels, and low-carbon innovation. India's role is crucial as one of the top emitters of greenhouse gases, with challenges including cutting down on methane emissions and phasing out coal-fired power plants. Concerns have been raised about deals promoting oil and gas companies, hindering the transition to clean energy. The conference emphasizes collaboration between the public and private sectors to meet emissions reduction goals. Scientists warn that without reduction efforts, greenhouse gas emissions could increase by 9% by 2030. The conference establishes a $420 million fund to assist vulnerable nations dealing with climate change-induced disasters. An agreement is reached to launch a program compensating poorer nations affected by climate extremes. Despite the UAE's oil interests, experts believe the country will push for a stronger agreement to eliminate fossil fuels. The Rhodium Climate Outlook report predicts global temperature increases of 2 to 4 degrees C by the end of the century, surpassing the Paris Agreement's 2 degrees Celsius target. Fossil fuel consumption is expected to peak this decade, but without accelerated policy and clean energy innovation, it will plateau at a high level after 2060. 2023 is the hottest year on record globally, with temperatures 1.4 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial average. Extreme weather events like heat waves, wildfires, and floods have been observed worldwide. France experienced its hottest autumn ever recorded and is also on track to have its second hottest year. The burning of fossil fuels is contributing to the rise in temperatures. The United Nations and the World Meteorological Organization have released reports on the devastating impacts of climate change. Urgent action to reduce emissions is being advocated by these organizations. The COP28 conference in Dubai is set to address climate change issues, including phasing out fossil fuels. A global fund is being established to support countries affected by climate change. World leaders are urged to take immediate action to limit global warming and protect vulnerable ecosystems. The latest U.S. National Climate Assessment Report shows an increase in frequency and economic damage from extreme weather events in the U.S. These events currently result in $1 billion in damages every 3 weeks, a significant increase from once every 4 months 40 years ago. This year, there have been 25 weather and climate disasters, with losses exceeding $1 billion, surpassing the previous year's count. The total annual cost of these events is estimated at $150 billion, impacting infrastructure, worker injuries, and agriculture. The report predicts continued cost increase due to projected sea level and temperature rises. Climate disasters are causing disruptions in the real estate market, raised home insurance rates, higher food prices, and increased healthcare costs, with marginalized communities disproportionately affected. The Federal Reserve does not currently consider climate change in its monetary policy, despite researchers arguing for pro-climate measures. Suggestions have been made to change the Fed's mandate to include green transformation objectives and treat climate destabilization as a major economic crisis. The Paris Agreement aimed to limit global temperature rise to below 2 degrees Celsius, but current emissions could lead to a rise of up to 3.6 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. Current warming levels have already resulted in extreme weather events, with 15% of the world's population at risk of severe heat waves at 1.5 degrees Celsius of warming. To mitigate climate change effects, greenhouse gas emissions must be reduced, with adaptation measures such as renewable energy use, resilient infrastructure building, and early warning systems implementation. 193 countries have submitted emission reduction and adaptation plans under the Paris Agreement, but they are insufficient to achieve necessary reductions. Developed countries are required to provide financial resources to developing countries for emission reduction and adaptation, but the promised $100 billion has not been fully delivered. Private sector plays a crucial role in financing and implementing the agreement, with individual contributions and cooperation equally important. At the upcoming COP28, the Paris Agreement will be a key topic, with a focus on encouraging countries to take appropriate climate actions and operationalizing international climate financing. Ocean temperatures are rising faster than expected, causing damage to marine life such as bleaching of coral. 2022 was the warmest year for the ocean since record-keeping began in 1955, with the ocean absorbing over 90% of the Earth's warming since 1971. The rise in ocean temperatures can change ocean currents, influence climate patterns and ecosystems, and cause sea levels to rise, leading to increased vulnerability to storms and flooding. Marine heat waves are becoming more frequent, intense, and prolonged, disrupting ecosystems and causing stress and death to marine life. The economy is at risk as billions of people rely on ocean fisheries for food and jobs. Predicting future temperature increases and potential irreversible tipping points, such as the collapse of ice sheets, coral reef die-off, and permafrost thawing, is challenging. Addressing these challenges requires opportunities and policy questions for scientists and Congress to respond to the crisis. This has been your daily brief in climate change. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates at www.brief.news. And for more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit www.brief.news/podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with everything you need to know.